Welcome. My name is Richard Bach, and I'm glad you're joining me today. We're going to talk about frakturs, except most frakturs were done as birth certificates or wedding announcements as a document. Very Lancaster County, Lebanon County, went into the Ohio Valley, down as far as Virginia. And these were very decorated pieces. They would have birds and flowers on them. They became very expensive. One of the largest collections are in Washington, D.C., or is in Washington, D.C., at the same archives that the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. In order for the Revolutionary veterans to get their pensions, they had to send birth certificates to Washington to prove their age and who they were. So they sent all these wonderful frakturs to Washington. So the government now owns them. There are ones in private hands. They come up they're in museums. Philadelphia Museum of Art has a large collection. They're beautiful, and they can be very expensive. So artists in the 1950s and 60s started to do reproductions and changing them a little so they were very unique and different. And a lot of these gentlemen and women have passed on, but the work is still available, and they're starting to get very collectible and very pricey. So I want to show you my Ellingers and my Garnet French. That's the name of two gentlemen who did contemporary frakturs. This is a fraktur. It was painted, it's ink and watercolor, done in 1804. It's a marriage certificate, and it was done in North County, Pennsylvania. And I show you this to show you what an original fraktur looks like, because I'm going to show you reproductions. This is my hallway, and this is my collection of reproduction. I hate to use the word reproduction because they're working in a style, but they're still all original to the artist, and they're introducing different things. I started with this one. It's a David Ellinger. David Ellinger was born in Westchester County, Pennsylvania. Artistic child, went to art school, ended up selling antiques, and he had big clientele, very notable people. You would know who they are if I said their names. And he would give these as birthday and Christmas presents, and of course they went crazy over him and said, you should do them and sell them. So he did. And they're now in museums, and they're extremely collectible, and they keep going up in price every time I go to buy another one. This is a David Ellinger. It's a theorem. So a lot of times what he did was he would get them ready, and they wouldn't totally dry. There'd be moisture in them. He'd think they were dried. He'd put them in the original frames, and if you look, there's paint on the back of the glass. And you can see that if you look sideways, you may not be able to see that. I find that charming. These are on paper. This is, a lot of Lancaster County motif involved. Strawberries, pineapples, flowers. This is Garnet French, and he's a predecessor to Ellinger. He started way before Ellinger. He was doing these in the 40s and 50s. This is a really nice one. He's got parrots at the bottom. He's got tulips. He's got peafowl, unicorns, lions. This is really a beautiful one in original frame. And I have more Garnet French. He's not as collectible. He's becoming collectible. So it's a good time to buy him. Ellinger is kind of past collectible. This is another David Ellinger painting. It's a theorem, so it's paint on fabric. And it was also put away before it was dry, and if you look sideways, you can see the staining on the glass. Now you could take it out, wash the glass, and put it back in, but I like it just the way it is, so it stays in found condition. I have above it a Garnet French, and he's an earlier Frakturs person. This one is a garden. It's all flowers, tulips and flowers and compasses. I think it's very pretty, and it's in original frame. That's important, to find them in original frames. I think that's part of the whole ambiance of the thing. He has a prayer in the middle, a blessing on your home. It's greens, yellows, navies, a lot of red. And, you know, it's a garden. You're looking at a garden. I think it's very pretty. This is Garnet French. This is an early one. I think this is like 1940s. It's the British Army. I'm chuckling here as I'm talking about it. Very whimsical. He introduces a lot of yellow and red in this one. You can see their muskets, and they're all a little different, the eyes and the garter belts. And it is really nice. I fell in love with this one. Above it is a takeoff on a lion, and it is also done French, Garnet French, paper, watercolor on paper, original frame. The frame is blue with orange red, a rusty red in the middle, picking up the color on the mane. His work is reasonable, it's affordable. If it had Ellinger's name on it, it would be 4 times more. So it's a great time to collect Garnet French. Well, thank you for joining me today. I enjoy talking about my Frakturs. I hope you enjoyed hearing about it. So until we meet again, signing off.